All right, how is everybody doing tonight? Wonderful, good. All right. So today I want to talk to you about identifying pasture and hayfield weeds. So Sun Tzu, does anybody know who he is? No, I don't either. I don't know who he is. He wrote the book The Art of War. He said that know thine enemy as thyself. So basically, this means that control measures for one of these weeds will not necessarily work for the other. So, what is a weed? A weed is something that is grown where it's not supposed to. For example, you have a cornfield up here and you are growing your corn, you go out there and scout the pasture, and all of a sudden you see a soybean sprout up. The soybean would be the weed because it's in your cornfield. You have annual ryegrass growing in your field, and all of a sudden you see lamb's quarter in your pasture, so the lamb's quarter would be the weed. So a weed is something that's grown somewhere where it's not supposed to. So I'm going to give you this scenario right here. Is Bermuda grass a weed? Take a look at this picture. You have the Bermuda grass growing right so nicely on the sidewalk, and you see it growing up through these cracks right here in the concrete. So basically in this scenario, Bermuda grass would be a weed because it's growing somewhere where it's not supposed to. So what do weeds do? Weeds reduce forage yield and quality. They can cause injury or death to livestock. Some weeds can be a toxin to livestock and kill them. They can interfere with hay drying, compete with desired forages, and they can weaken strands of grass. So, controlling weeds. Accurate identification is key in controlling weeds. Scout the pastures to look for weeds. Keep a record of what weeds are in your particular fields. This can help you measure your control methods. Also, some weeds may take years to control, but prevention is key. So, weed prevention. Weeds can be dispersed by livestock movement. They can be hay bales, grass seed, mowing equipment. Those are kinds of weed prevention that you do have control over. What you don't have control over are the 3 W's: wind, water, and wildlife. So prevention, know your source, know where your hay has come from, know where your seeds have come from, know where your livestock's been, and know where your equipment has been. And cheap is not always a good buy. Certified seeds or sprigs are always recommended. So plants are classified as annuals, biennials, and perennials, cool season and warm season. They also have grasses, broadleafs, and sedges. So for example, a crabgrass is an annual warm season grass, and another example would be the red sorrel, which is perennial cool season broadleaf. So that's how you would classify each plant. So you can either say if it's an annual or a cool season or grass or whatever. So an annual it germinates and reproduces and dies within one growing season. Biennials, they require 2 growing seasons to complete their life cycle, and they rarely set seed the first year. And then a perennial, they generally live more than 3 years, and they reproduce through seeds or vegetative structures. So you can also classify weeds as a cool season and a warm season. So in the cool season, they grow best during the cool temperatures, which is basically like in the fall. They germinate in the fall, and then warm season, they grow best at warm temperatures, and they germinate in the spring and summer. So grasses, broadleaf, and sedges. Grasses are generally longer than wide. Broadleaves are generally wider than long, and sedges, they are similar to grasses, but they have the triangle stems. So I'm going to show you a chart that we have up here to tell you the different broadleafs between the broadleafs, the grasses, and the sedges. And the broadleaves up here at top, their stems are round or square. Their leaves they can be oval or heart-shaped, round, or linear. They also can have a tap root. They can be have bulbous roots, or they can be fibrous roots. Grasses, their stems are round, their leaves are linear, and their roots are also fibrous. For the sedges, their stems, now our sedges is similar to our grasses, however their stems are triangular. And then their leaves are the same as the grasses, they're linear, and their roots are fibrous also. So if you would like to have more information about identifying weeds in your hayfield and pasture, you can check it out on johnston.ces.ncsu.edu. You click on animal agriculture, and then you click on the weed identification in pastures and hayfields. And I have, some of you guys may have this packet. Hold on just a minute. It looks like this. This is what NCSU's up here at the top, or Johnston County's thing. This is what it looks like this. And then you can also check out NC State Turf Files and Virginia Tech Weed ID for information about how to identify weeds. Alright, so that is the end of the presentation section. If I could have everybody to stand up, we're going to do a fun activity. Don't all jump up at once. Come on.